Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Olamide Olauba. I am your grad school advisor. If today is your first time on this channel, grad school advisor provides graduate school sustainability advice, grad school admission tips, and postdoctoral career guidance. If you want to follow me on these tips, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified each time I release new videos. Over the past few months, I've started a series on exceptional grad school application material, and today is the fourth episode, which centers on recommendation letters. A recommendation letter is usually submitted to the application selection committee, and it is intended to support the application of an applicant. It is therefore possible to have a generic or a personalized recommendation letter submitted on behalf of an applicant. A generic recommendation letter is a type of recommendation letter that does not use specific terms that applies to an applicant to discuss their suitability for application. It usually uses generic terms, and these generic terms means that such a letter can be submitted for anyone. Such a letter can be edited, it can fit in for the application of many other applicants. Another characteristics of a generic recommendation letter is that it has no record of known applicant achievements to the recommenders that are included. So this type of recommendation letter has a lot of disadvantages. It actually contributes to weak application material. It can lead to rejection of an application, and it can even lead to blacklisting. From personal experience, I know a particular applicant who applied for a position, a PhD position, and the application was rejected. And part of the reasons provided for this rejection was a weak letter of recommendation. Secondly, I know another applicant who was blacklisted from applying to a particular school just because the recommender submitted the same recommendation letter for two different applicants applying to that school. So this type of situation usually leads to this ugly scenario, which you as an applicant want to avoid. However, it is possible for an applicant to submit a personalized recommendation letter, which is a good recommendation letter. You want to ensure that your recommenders submit personalized letter on your behalf. This type of personalized letter uses specific terms that applies to the applicants to discuss the applicant's suitability for admission. It's in this type of letter, some records of the applicant's achievements that are known to the recommender are usually discussed in the letter to support the applicant's application. So in this type of letter, the recommender also provide honest and good evaluation of the applicant, and overall this type of recommendation letter contributes to a competitive grad school application material. Next, I'll be talking about who writes a recommendation letter. Who writes a recommendation letter? Ideally, you are expected to submit the email address of a recommender who you know personally, who knows you personally, and within the confines of academics. Usually, your academic advisor, your supervisor in your undergrad, coursework professors are those type of people that you can submit their email to recommend you. You also want to make sure it is somebody that you have developed good relationship with, so that they can provide honest opinion about your academic progress. It is also important not to fall victim of big names. Many a times candidates or applicants love to submit the email address of established professor, which I call big names, and the reason could not be far-fetched, probably because they think that this can actually support and influence the acceptability of the application. Why submitting the email address of a big name or established professor is not a big deal, it's not a problem. It is important for an applicant to know these big names personally, so that these big names can provide honest, specific, or personalized opinion about their suitability for grad school admission. So again, I maintain that it is not a bad thing that an applicant provides the email of a big name or an established professor in the field to write a recommendation letter on their behalf. But what matters here is while you do that, you also want to make sure that this big name knows you personally, so that they don't just provide a generic letter of recommendation on your behalf. This type of generic letter of recommendation will not support your application as much as a personalized recommendation letter. So you want to make sure that these big names knows you personally, and they can provide honest opinion about your progress. They can discuss your suitability with specific terms that applies to you, and they also can mention some of the achievements, your past achievements, that they are aware of in this letter, and this will definitely support your application very well. Lastly, I want to talk about how much control you have or you should have on your recommendation letter. Obviously, it seems that applicants do not have so much control over their recommendation letters, especially because most applicants even waive their right to see what letter is written on their behalf. But I want to maintain that it is still possible that you as an applicant can exercise some control over the type of recommendation letter that is written on your behalf. This type of control is not after you have submitted the email address of your recommender, but specifically before you submit the email address of your recommender. I want to emphasize the place of relationship, which is also very important in grad school. Excellent relationship with colleagues, superiors, and academic advisor is one of those things that is advocated in grad school. So one of the tests of your ability to maintain good, healthy relationship with people in the confines of academics is the type of recommendation letter that is written on your behalf. So if you have good relationship with people, they should be able to provide personalized recommendation letter on your behalf. This control that you have over your recommendation letter are usually before you submit the email address of your recommender. You want to make sure that you have developed personal relationship with this person that is recommending you. You want to make sure that you are certain that such an individual will recommend you with personalized terms that specifically applies to you. You want to maintain that your academic achievement is known to this person. I have come to the end of this video. Please subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I release new video. Thank you, and see you in the next video.